Alright guys, welcome to session number 54. We are diving in S&P 500 ticking higher as Wall Street tries to regain momentum from CPI sell-off this last Tuesday. It is Thursday today, February 15th, day after Valentine's Day. Hopefully everyone had a great Valentine's Day. So let's dive into some news we see here and see how the market is reacting to it. So S&P rose today as Wall Street tried to claw back from this week's losses. Broad market index climbed 0.5%, while NASDAQ adding 0.2%. Dow Jones went higher at 0.6%. So, we have a lot of confusion in the market. We have, investors, spending a lot of time this week trying to make an assessment of where things stand in the U.S. economy. But indicators have given mixed signals so far. So, we see a really strong earnings with tech. We see, inflation really, the actual inflation data was higher than estimates. And, Federal Reserve doesn't know, they're going to be pausing. They're not pausing. They're going to be delaying, I should say, their rate cut, I believe, for March. So, it's not looking good for Federal Reserve to cut rates in March. And even they say maybe May will be delayed as well. So way in the second quarter, I think, is our prediction of when the Fed will cut rates. We had an earlier prediction before the inflation data came out that they were going to definitely cut in May. But, with inflation data coming out higher than expected, Federal Reserve is, really coming out saying, it's highly unlikely. So here we are, retail sales dropping 0.8% in January. That's much more than the 0.3% decline expected by economists, according to Dow Jones. This raised some concern about the strength of the U.S. consumer under the weight of sticky inflation and high interest rates, and sent Treasury yields down. So that is some information, retail sales dropping, and then also, raising some concern of the strength of the U.S. consumer. And, we have earnings season still upon us here. We have, TripAdvisor jumping after beating estimates on top and bottom, not a Mogul 30 stock. We have Cisco shares were down more than 1% after tech company announced layoffs and weak forward sale projections. We also have DraftKings today. We're going to be following that very well because we have an open option play on DraftKings. We sold a cash secured put yesterday, collected that premium, and if that, if earnings really does take a hit today, then stock is going to come down to our strike of $40, and if it goes below that by tomorrow, we're going to be entitled to buy those shares at the $40, even if it's $25 or $30 or $35. So we're going to be watching that very closely today. We're going to be watching DraftKings. All right, and then we had Cisco shares down more than 1% after tech company announced layoffs. We have Deere stock dropping 5% after manufacturer lowered guidance for its full year net income guidance. Shares of Alphabet and Mogul 30 stock slid nearly 3% today. So, we're watching this market. We're seeing it really confuse investors, confuse traders, and based off the current economy. So we're going to be really watching it closely and try to navigate it well. So that is CNBC Live Update. Let's now go into the Mogul 30 portfolio here. So we're looking at QQQ. We're seeing it really bounce off that 50-day. Went below it on Tuesday after the CPI report came out, and we saw it really testing it there. We did buy at this level at the 426, and we see it now recovering, trying to make its way back up to the high at 439.14. That is the 6-month chart on QQQ. We are not going to be buying today. It's at a 56 RSI on the 6-month. We're going to try and get that at oversold values. We're going to wait to see what this market does, and because we don't know what it's going to do. So we want to see that in oversold values before we hop back in. We look at SPY here. We see the same thing, really coming down towards that 490 range and now hopping back up to the 501 above 500, making near that high at 503.50. So we'll see if it takes over that, creates a new high before the weekend. So that is SPY, following the S&P 500 Spider Index. So now let's get into DraftKings. We really need to do we want to buy DraftKings at 40? We would prefer not to. We would, like for the stock to stay above 40 and then collect our premium after expiration on tomorrow, the end of tomorrow, come back on Monday, do another cash secured put, maybe possibly down more in DraftKings, maybe at 38, maybe 37. We'll have to see what the premiums look like on Monday. So that's our goal for this, to try and have DraftKings stay above 40, collect our premium, move on Monday, do another one. So we would really like to hold on to our capital. But if we do end up getting assigned, we have to buy 100 shares at the $40 strike. We will turn on Monday and do a cover call. Now let's dive into the $10 buy of the day. Let's see what is down on the day. We really have Google being down on the day, almost 3%. And we can see it now trading below that 200-day moving average, and we see it at the 33.92 RSI level. So we're going to go ahead. We're not even going to look at any other stocks. We saw this morning really come down, and we really want to buy this at a deal, and it's presenting a deal right now. So let's go ahead and lock in a $10 buy of Google. All right, so $10 buy. Order quantity 0.7029. Let's go ahead and lock that in. Alright guys, so we got filled at 142.27. So that is the $10 buy of the day. Google really at the 34 RSI and trading nearly below that 200-day moving average on the 6-month chart. So now let's go over to the 5-day chart. We see it really making a low here at the 140 range today. So that is making a new low for the 5-day here. So, we really wanted to enter at a low on the 5-day, and then the 6-month obviously presenting an opportunity at a 34 RSI level. So that is pretty much it, guys. We don't want to get too crazy today. We don't want to trim. So we went over, how the market is reacting to, the CPI data that happened Tuesday, the sell-off. We are trying to make it back up to highs. Really confusing investors and traders after that inflation report. We're seeing it really close to the highs here. Then we went over our QQQ. We are pausing position today. We want to wait until it gets down to oversold values before we hop back in. We went over DraftKings. We have a cash secured put at the $40 strike. So if this does come down to $40 by the end of Friday session, we are going to have to be buying those shares. We're entitled to buy those shares. That's we have collateral of $4,000 that we have to buy those shares if it's below $40 at that time. Then we had the $96 that went straight to our cash balance yesterday. So we're going to see how this does after earnings today. If it does really well, we could see this popping up to $50. If there's mediocre results, we could see this really going back down to this average 200-day average at 37. So we might have to buy these shares. But either way, we're gonna on Monday we're either gonna do a cover call if we have to get those shares, if we're entitled to buy those shares at the end of Friday, or we're going to do a cash secured put if the price does not go below $40. Then we, got Google at a deal here, really coming back down to that 200-day moving average, just as over here did. So we wanted to buy Google at looks like they're down 2.54% today so far. So that was a good snag for us. We'll continue watching it tomorrow to see if it goes further down below that 200-day or if we're going to see a bounce. So that is pretty much what we did today for trading session number 54. If you guys are not subscribed here yet, please consider subscribing. If you guys like these live sessions, please like this video if you really like this content. Really motivates us to really make more content and to really teach you guys how we trade in the stock market. And if you guys are not a part of our community yet on Discord, go ahead and go to mogulfellas.com, go to membership, and get the invite there while it is free. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the outro.